out for a public auction, but as well, a good indicator of fair market value is having an actual appraisal done. And then saying, okay, the appraised price is fair market value. An expert has come in and said, okay, you can sell it for this based on all these comparables. And then that would be the number that you would be basically bound to sell it for if somebody wanted to purchase it from you.
So slightly off topic, just give me the 30 seconds. The DRI seems quite interested in having the police station be transformed into potentially 4 apartments, because we know how big it is. And it's interesting to me that seems to be a really strong thing. And I watched, and if I've got this wrong, tell me, that the potential proposal from April and George to turn that fabulous building on the corner of Lake Street into considerably more apartments, maybe 8 apartments or more, got taken off the survey and rejected. It's interesting to me, maybe not the place to go for it, but it's interesting to me that wasn't important enough to do or whatever.
So
And
now
that's the wrong.
that's your
That's the wrong.
interpretation, that's not important enough.
But
Because there are other things that are taken into consideration.
wrong place for me, I'm just throwing that out now, forget that I said that. We'll do that in another place.
But you put it out there.
I
There are
did.
other things being taken into consideration. It's not just,
Yeah.
well, this is 4 apartments, this is 8 apartments, why wouldn't you do that?
Yeah.
There's a lot more to consider than just that.
Leanne, is this a new proposal? Because I haven't heard of this proposal in the
No,
other
it's-
GRI meetings that I've gone to.
It was,
Been there.
yeah, it's been there.
It has-
We just didn't know where we were putting the police. We didn't really, I mean, initially, we
talked
thought
about
we may
building over
build
here.
a new building, that's,
Yeah.
you know, $3 or $4 million. So,
And it's just too big a chunk of the time.
Is the DRI money to build a court, police station out there?
that's what we talked about, that's $3 or $4 million. Above the
On
10.
top.
We got 10.
Oh,
Yeah.
We started out with requesting the amount of 25 million, and we had to start paring down, which has been.
So actually, Mayor, I guess that's worth just exploring. So you did explore having the police in the court moved out here, but the idea of the estimate was 3 or 4 million just for that.
Just for that building, yes.
And then I think it'd probably be not 3 or 4 million, but I'll probably add 2 or 3 million if we were to, well, I don't know, because I'm not a cost estimator, but to renovate like the fire
Probably.
station
Yeah,
or something
still be
like that,
with-
it's
be
just a lot
considerable
of money
amount.
still.
Which we don't have a number on that, or even if it's possible.
Right? I mean,
But the first question is, do we continue to talk about it, or do we say, you know what, it's just not something you want to pursue when we're done?
I don't want to speak our way, but I don't think we're against it, but we don't know if it's even an option.
So to further explore that, we would look to have a meeting with your fire department, the trustees, the police department, court, to sit down with the planners all together in one room and talk it through, and hopefully at the end of that say yay or nay.
Right, is it even possible?
Right.
And if it is,
Because
what's
we
the
don't know.
price tag on it?
Are those planners, are they architects, engineers, familiar
They
with
have-
designing and building police
they
stations
have-
on courts?
Yeah, they have on staff, they have those people,
Yeah, well, and it's just,
engineers and, sure,
because getting the actual cost estimate is what to
They
me
have
is
estimators
the most
and-
important piece of that.
We would have to have a meeting in this next week, right?
yeah, very soon.
Yeah. So the next DRI meeting is very soon.
2 weeks,
2 weeks. Yeah. Tomorrow.
tomorrow,
Or tonight. So,
Wednesday.
this one's on a Tuesday, the public workshop. Anyway, we'll get to that later. So I guess are we open to having a meeting? I think is what Leanne's trying to ask.
I'm always open to having meetings, we don't have enough meetings so far, so.
No, we
Open
don't.
to have another meeting,
Holy cow.
so,
You'll sit through a meeting?
I'll shoot you up.
It's usually an all-night thing.
this one would be a long one.
I think we should have all parties
Yeah.
discuss it.
That's the only way to make any headway, if it's possible and if it's supported.
which
What days
trustees are
available
gonna
next
go, I
week?
think I heard
Right.
2 over there.
Let me add one more piece. So we're talking about, we sell the police station to, well, forget the names, but we know. We retrofit the fire station, put the police and the court in. Where do we put these 6 emergency vehicles and all the offices from the fire department? That's the next step that we haven't.
I think what Lean is also saying is don't be so limited to think possibly just the fire station, you know, I mean, you could just
Right.
move the
There could
police
be
in the court and
other
leave the
options.
fire where it is, fine.
That's fine, just, and that would be part of that
Discussion.
marathon meeting.
Yep.
Or what days
gonna
available
be-
next week?
Can you make a date available?
For me? Yeah, I don't know, we'll come up with a date.
And if you're-
Who is interested in going to the meeting from this board, so we know if we have to put it in the paper or not?
That's what day it is. Well, if we're to consider it, I think we need to make a public.
Probably.
I mean, I'm okay with it being a public meeting. I'm free Monday. Or as I know,
During the day or even?
8 in the evening, because our maintenance works on the board. Same with the emergency squad and the fire
Oh, yeah,
department.
okay.
Yeah, we're all working.
Police
Does the fire department have anything going on Monday? It's a lot of you here.
Their fire board meeting's the 6th, Mike,
Okay.
so they,
This-
25th would be all right.
That's Wednesday?
So if
No,
there's
it's
a
Wednesday
zoning
at
board
6.
meeting that night,
Oh,
we're
okay.
gonna run into
So
that.
Monday, the 25th?
2 Wednesdays.
Hang on, there's a zoning board meeting.
And the planning board's at next night, right?
Yeah.
Not that you have to do the meeting.
And we only
No,
meet,
it's, we would just have to.
we only meet if we have something to discuss, and as far as I know currently, there is nothing on our agendas.
And we just possibly have to find somewhere else to have the meeting, if they do have something on their agenda, which I'm sure we'll find. So does the 25th work for everybody?
Which day is that now? That's Monday?
Monday.
Next Monday.
Is 6 o'clock enough time, or do you need to go later?
Whatever works for you guys.
Mike, if you check with Dan, he could probably do it at the station, and since he's company one, he could commandeer company one's meeting room and more to accommodate everybody within getting in there.
Yeah. I mean, it might be good to have it in the building anyway.
And then
Be
your
there.
Yeah.
architect engineer
I'll
can see what they're
take a
looking
look at it. Yeah.
Is there capability
Chief, are you
to
available?
conference people in? I guess we could use cell phones to do that.
Yeah, as far as the consultants, you mean? Yeah.
So Leanne, who are you intending to have there?
This is, nobody,
Anybody from
I
the
mean,
board?
this is, you guys.
Village board.
Police,
Who are the
fire.
police and fire, who are the cost people that we're gonna have there?
The court, yeah.
The court.
Get them by the judge.
But who are you talking about for the cost, citizens?
So the consultants would most likely be there by way of phone conference. They'll have whoever.
The DRI consulting firm,
Correct.
and those will be the cost estimate folks.
Yep.
Okay.
So the village trustees, rep from the court, fire department, and police department.
Right,
Anybody else?
and then,
Is the chief available?
Well, it's open to the public,
Yeah,
so.
so-
again, the police chief is, fire chief's not here, so.
And then if, given that it's gonna be a public meeting, if anyone's appearing by
Right.
phone, then you need to make sure that it can be amplified, so if they, when they talk, people attending can actually hear them.
Who's going to be chairing this meeting?
Well, BFJ will probably run it, I would assume.
Assume whoever has the idea.
Well, so again, it's a public meeting of the village board, so the mayor would be
The mayor's
chairing
gonna
the
chair.
meeting, but he could
Right.
certainly turn it over to, you know, as the
Okay.
one agenda item to this group to initiate the discussion.
So how long notice can then take before it has to be publicized?
Yeah, I mean, it should
Yeah,
be
that's fine.
published as soon as possible. If there's enough time to put it in the newspaper, then it should go in the newspaper. If there's not, then reasonable notice to local media
can't go in a courier, because they're not
There
very
it was,
fast.
yeah. It's going to penny
We can put a
Time saver,
penny saver, maybe paper press.
morning times.
That might-
I want to be very clear, I'm not advocating on this, I'm just saying, this is what's out there, I think it, just have a discussion, you guys decide and let us know, and we'll go with whatever you say. I'm not trying to push this through, I just want to at least have a discussion about it, and then,
I mean, I think it's worth exploring, I mean,
So you're saying
it's
the
fine, but
DRI
yes or no,
would provide the
look at
money
that.
to
I mean,
refurbish whatever need to be done in the building?
that's the
To
To
intent, yes.
facilitate the court and the police?
Yes,
This is fine, you're trying to, if we have no intention, you're trying to eliminate it, I
yes.
understand.
Okay.
Laura, you had a question?
Meeting gonna be here or at the fire station?
Well, we haven't cleared that with the chief yet, so we
Right.
can't absolutely say that yet.
We'll nail that down, and let everybody know. It'll either be one of the two places, either here or the firehouse.
Well, we got the key to the fire, right?
Because he can explain it.
Okay, anything else?
That's all I got.
I missed the part about engines.
Next board meeting,
I actually, I'm in the country that week,
okay,
and so George and I can't make it, and I'm assuming you want us there. As much as I don't want to prolong
Probably.
it. but-
March 4th, wasn't it?
yeah,
Yeah, I'm gone the 3rd through the 12th.
okay. Calendar. So, there.
It's the 4th, 14 days later, so the 18th.
Yeah, the next meeting will be the 18th. Does that work?
Yeah,
Okay.
that would be great.
So then we need to amend the motion to schedule a public hearing.
Mr. Mayor, I move to amend the motion, change public hearing from the 4th to the 18th.
Who was second on that?
My second,
Okay. Vote, Ron,
Yes.
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 yes,
and yes. So it's the 18th now.
thank you so much.
It's election day,
Oh, thank you. We'll get to that in a minute.
right? No, I mean,
Jumping
I
ahead.
don't-
Still working with the
we can't
25th?
be meeting on the same day.
Still working with the 25th?
Yeah,
Meeting?
yes.
So time frame yet, right?
6 o'clock.
6-ish.
Did we miss a day for a meeting? Is there some day we're not having a meeting that we need to get one?
I mean, are you free like any night of the week? 'Cause we can put one there.
Is it because you're gonna miss me tomorrow night?
I mean, I saw you Saturday, and I saw you,
4 days,
I know.
3 out of 4 days.
Thank you so much, everybody, for listening. If you have any questions in the meantime, please let me know. And I look forward to hearing back from you.
Thank you.
See ya.
All right. I think that was still public comment. Anybody have anything?
Oh, I do that. What I'm getting from that is that the refurbishing of the fire station is off the table now with DRI, is that what
So
you're
the
saying?
gist I get from the committee is they're questioning, it's still on the table, it's in the survey. They're questioning whether or not it meets the DRI goals to stay as a fire station. That's the committee's decision. It is on the survey still. And the survey just came out today, I have the link on my computer. I need to publicize it everywhere after the meeting. So I'm still waiting. Okay, so moving on. We've done a bunch of stuff off the agenda, just out of order. Next thing is the election update. Rodney has an update for us.
We got one group of candidates with 21 pages of signatures. It's called the Progress and Tradition Party with Laura Everly, Ryan Pelton, and Russell Fuller. Election will be March 19th, and I will be using paper ballots instead of the machine ballots. Save us a couple $1,000.
All right, next item
That would be
is
at the fire station,
At the fire station.
Central Fire
from
Station, right?
12 to
12 to 9.
And there's no contests or
No.
anything like that. It's all good. Next item is the Strawberry Festival date. June 14th and 15th, but I think this is just more of an acknowledgement to the board that that's when they're planning on having the Strawberry Festival. Paul?
Who's in charge of the Strawberry Festival this year?
It's historic Owego Marketplace.
Is it still, hand of man, Pat Hansen?
Yes,
Okay.
I think. Brad would know. Cruz. He's the head of historic Owego Marketplace, so
I don't know that.
pretty sure it's Pat.
Okay.
This is the bartender original.
Oh, original party?
Yes. Yeah,
I'll stop in and see Pat here in the next week.
yeah.
Are they gonna bring the dinosaurs back?
Like this.
I haven't heard about dinosaurs. They were pretty cool.
We had one here. It was,
Oh.
Oh, for Halloween, you were,
Yes.
yeah.
oh, Halloween time.
You were Joe's wife.
Yeah.
No, Udo.
No, Uda.
Oh,
There's
really?
Uda.
Oh, yeah.
Do you want to just approve that date? Because they have to start doing this.
Yeah. So, we need to approve the date for. So, does anybody have any objection to that weekend?
Do we have any type of incident action plan for that?
We should.
But we never have.
Probably not.
We'll talk with you about that.
So does anybody have any objection to the weekend of the 14th and the 15th, just so they can start planning?
Do we have to vote on
Once it's
Yeah.
locked in after this?
Yeah,
it? Yeah.
we might as well, so I'll make a motion to accept it. Have a second.
I'll second.
And the motion is just to accept those
Just
dates.
that weekend.
Not break one of them,
No, no,
just
no
those
parade
dates.
permits, but yeah.
Yes.
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 Yes. So then there'll be more paperwork coming for parade permits and whatnot. Actually, the next thing is a parade permit. The Strawberry Shake 5K. They just submitted, we just got it this week, so I think we've talked, we want a little bit of time to look at this, right?
Let's do that. Let's do that another meeting.
Right, move this to the next meeting's agenda.
Will you move it?
Just this parade permit, just so that everybody can look through it. If you have any questions, because there is actually an emergency plan in this, so we should get with you on it. Spectator control. I think it's the same thing they've always done, but just make sure.
I'm sure the Strawberry Festival knows that they also have to get DOT's approval on it.
Right.
That's for the closing of the streets and stuff?
The next item is discharge of mortgages.
Okay, so everybody's got a copy of them. These are 12 mortgages that have passed their due date. These are mortgages that we gave out, and as long as you kept your property over 5 years and didn't sell it, that you didn't have to pay back a certain part of your loan or grant. So these are all well past that time. And the CDGD people have asked us to make sure we discharge the mortgage at this time. So we need a motion to discharge, everybody's got a copy of it, right? So there's one at 43 Talcott, 135 North Avenue, 63 Liberty, 21 Armstrong, 77 George, 220 Temple, 22 William, 100 Chestnut, 129 Chestnut, 117 Erie, 10 Talcott, and 35 Erie. Like I said, they've all passed the time limit, and what we do is we sign off, and then they can go to the county clerk and release that lien off their mortgages.
No motion.
And second it.
Anybody have any other questions about it? Right. Take a vote.
Yes.
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 Yes. Next item is review application for review of EDU categories, the 176 meeting. So this is 176 Main Street, which is the jail restaurant, the Calvary's, or former Calvary's.
Police station.
Park for a jail.
Maybe it's a hundred,
Jail just opened up?
Yeah. Already got this, a couple cells left in it.
Tracy, tell them what do you want?
He's just looking to change the EDU count from the 2 that a restaurant is because it's vacant. So, in the past, we have not changed any EDU counts due to a vacancy. So I denied as far as my end went.
I guess my question would be, how, nobody's gonna come say that it's not vacant. How do we know to change it back to 2? I mean, other than, well, obviously no, within this case, but in general.
And then Tracy, vacant categorized properties, are they literally vacant pieces of land, like with no building or?
That's the only vacant category we have is for vacant land.
Right, completely vacant,
Right.
no structures.
Right. We don't have a vacant category as far as building vacant. We've always left the EDUs the way they were on a vacant building, a vacant restaurant, the other restaurants that weren't vacant for any period of time continue paying the same EDU. You know, vacant apartments paying the same EDU or whatever, so.
So, Mr. Mayor, at this time, he's applied for that EU reduction. The superintendent has denied it.
Yep.
If he wants further action, I assume he'll come to us and
I believe that
this is
that
it.
is what this is.
this is it.
There's a spot where the
Yes.
village board either approves or denies.
I don't see where we should be making.
You didn't get a copy of this?
I do, I have it.
Oh.
Does he want to change it from a 2 to a 1, did you say? Didn't say.
Didn't say other, I mean, this is all I've received.
So certainly the section of the village code requires the application to include a bunch of things. Name, address, phone number of the property owners, I think we've got that. Tax map number, I don't think you included that, but I believe we all know where it is anyway.
He included the address in parentheses.
Right, he said, he's given a general description of what the property's current use is, which he says is vacant as of February 1st, 2019. He said there's no building permits that have been issued. He's not provided 1 year's worth of water bills, which is a requirement under the code. And then there's just a catch-all, any and all other information necessary to consider the parcel's EDU categorization.
And that's all in this form as well.
Right.
So you're dealing with those, we haven't gained in the past, why gain it now?
Right.
Certainly, if you grant this request, then I think you can expect anyone with a vacant property to immediately apply.
There's an apartment that went vacant 10 minutes.
Right.
It would also make the EDU billing much more difficult. You know, certainly on a yearly basis, you're saying, here's what the EDU rate is for everyone, and then if in the middle of the year, we allow changes like this, then you're going to have a very difficult time, I think, managing your sewer fund,
I would agree.
more so than you currently.
If it's not already in our law, we are going to be reviewing EDU categories and other things as soon as we go along, we might consider putting in our law that your ability to file some sort of an appeal will be at a particular time, maybe at the beginning of each sewer year. We might put something like that, if there is an appeal time.
Yeah, that's, I mean, we could possibly do that.
Just for planning purposes.
But not just willy-nilly every year, maybe.
Yeah, sure.
Like property tax appeals, once a year at a particular time frame.
or short of, a significant change or conversion to a parcel, I know if, let's pretend converted the police station into apartments, then it would get 4 EDUs and not stay as, well, I don't know if the village pays itself EDUs, but, whatever it is now to 4 EDUs, I'm sure we would change that.
I like that, let's pretend.
Whichever action the board is taking, though, should be a motion to grant the request or deny the request.
I motion to deny the request.
You have Tracy's recommendation.
Yeah, Casey's recommendation following that, we haven't changed them for agencies and.
You making that motion?
Yep.
I second that.
Vote? Right, okay. If you want to deny, you vote for it.
Yeah. We're voting to deny.
Charles?
Deny. Yes. Yes to deny.
Yes, to deny.
Yes, no, okay.
Yes.
Yes.
And yes. All right, next item is the minutes, 2/4/2019. Did we get a copy? Did anybody have any edits to them? I think we sent a couple edits back.
Yeah, I said,
Right. Did we see a new copy? Yeah, we can.
You got, I got appointed commissioner, for the.
Were they corrected?
Right, last time you got appointed commissioner for the fire department.
Correct, yes. And
You
then
didn't have
round
both
up the
of them,
information there.
that before.
Right,
That got changed?
okay. So, can we approve them with those changes? Do you have a motion to accept them?
Make a motion to accept the changes.
Okay.
Okay.
And a vote?
Yes.
Yes.
Stay.
Yes. Next item is the treasurer's report. Lori, probably haven't seen it very much. Yeah. Everybody else got a copy of it?
Right there.
Got one there.
There's one correction I have on this. Last page, Evergreen Cemetery CD, probably doesn't show up yet, but of the 150,000, we took 75,000, let's see, we took 75,000 a month or so ago, and put it in Jeff's account for the cemetery, and then we have the other 75,000 as a CD, so it's not
Well,
really.
that was for the work that was done.
Right. We took 75,000 out on Jeff's request, the board's.
We haven't spent all that.
Right.
I didn't take out enough for what we're gonna do in the spring now, so.
So that really CD is like $75,000. The other 75,000 went into Jeff's line item for the cemetery.
Which we
That'll show up next time, yeah. That'll show up on the next.
we approved that already.
Yes, yes. I just, was going to, it's still there, it shouldn't be.
Does anybody else have any other questions on the treasurer's report?
And I did request to receive all the money from the sweet fund, I haven't.
No, the girls said that hasn't come in yet.
We sent a letter saying we told them, where we are and all that. And then that'll be completed. sign them.
All right, so do we have a motion to accept the treasurer's report? Okay. Then a vote?
Yes.
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 Abstain.
And yes. Next item, department head reports. You good? Nobody called about the buses.
No, that was fun, we had a training at the school, some crazy bus drivers,
I don't know, you
no officers injured.
Which one would you guys start?
What happened?
We had a somewhat active shooter training with school bus, everybody thinks about the schools, but we did it actually with the school bus drivers and simulated active shooters on the buses and took them out on the back roads and let them drive a little erratically.
I could not drive because I don't drive for Owego, I drive for Newark Valley, so I just had to get thrown around, I didn't get to actually drive, so.
It was good training for the school, I'm sure there'll be more in other schools who are doing it now.
At the last board meeting, we talked about the RFPs for the disinfection project, and we needed to look in to see if the existing grant required them. It does not. Nathan and I discussed it, and, you know, our suggestion was just get proposals from the two engineer firms that have been a part of the disinfection, as far as the one that Hunt that did the grants, and then BCA that's did the initial proposal. So
Actually, so I don't know if PCA contacted you, I actually saw them at the NICOM conference, so they're interested in that for sure.
yeah, very interested. And we talked to both of them, and they both feel that we should move ahead with an accelerated timeline from on the disinfection to tie it in with phase 2 as much as we can. If any, if they need to be changed with phase 2, or the blacktop issues and stuff that I've discussed before, that's wrapped in with phase 2, as far as delaying that for the disinfection and stuff. So.
And then just as I think as a reminder to the board, the total grant, I think is $1 million. It would be a reimbursement type grant, which means we have to spend the money and then show we spent the money, and then we get the money. Which means that most likely we would need to do a borrowing. I think the overall estimated cost of the disinfectant project itself is actually like 1.5 or 1.6 million. So there would need to be a long-term borrowing for the difference there. Short-term to cover the initial upfront cost of $1 million that you get back, and then the long-term of the 600,000 or so. So that would.
We have reapplied for another grant, so when we applied for 2 grants for $1 million each. We got one and we got rejected from the other one, so we've actually reapplied for the second one.
For this year's round of that.
Yeah.
Do you know when it might get awarded?
I have no idea.
Because if we move on an accelerated schedule, I think, that would be designing relatively soon, with construction, of course, dovetailing with the end of phase 2. If the grant comes in at the end of, or sometime in this summer, then great. Then we wouldn't need a long-term borrow potentially. But if we want to do the project, I think we would need to fairly soon authorize the total amount, knowing that we'll either pay the 600 back by long-term borrowing or by a grant. But again, I think we need to take action relatively soon. And I don't know if EFC would allow this as some add-on to the current 0% loan.
Definitely something that we would want to look into.
And even the 1 million is actually only 850,000 because there's a match.
Oh, there's a match, right? So really it's more like a long-term, we need a long-term solution for half of the monies.
Right.
But so I think what Tracy and I are asking for, and it sounds like we have it, or tell us otherwise, but we'll secure actual proposals from these two firms. And if you guys would like them to come in and talk with you, so you guys can get a feel for which one you prefer to go with, we can try to get those meetings arranged between now and either the first meeting in March or the second meeting in March. And, you know, we can do small groups for you to meet with them, or they can come and present at the board meeting itself if you prefer. Any thoughts?
I think it'd be easier to have them come to the board and present.
Yeah, and then it's one shot and done. Get the information.
So should we ask them to come to the next board meeting and then not make a decision at that meeting, have them come present at the next board meeting with an idea that you might make a final decision as to which firm you go with at the second meeting in March?
And the question is, when can they come? Because the next board meeting is only 2 weeks away, so I don't know if they can.
I know from talking,
Spool up a proposal like that.
I know from talking with at least one of them, they would be able to, I believe, Tracy, correct me if I'm wrong, I think they said they can make the March 4th meeting.
Yeah, that was the impression I got from them.
Right, and I'm assuming BCA would be able to also come and present, and if not, I mean, we'll find that out.
But yeah. We'll shoot for that, and we'll see if they can come.
Okay.
Okay. The only other thing I had was Phase 2's moving along. They actually started moving equipment in yesterday.